Yeah. So you can now. I think that unfortunately for our friends who do listen from Illinois on our WFIA app, which if you don't have, please download.
My sister's there. I don't know if she's listening or not.
But, I think that Republican senator is in very deep trouble with Tammy Duckworth, a Iraq War veteran, disabled veteran. I think triple amputee. So I think that is going to be a very tight race. However, Illinois is also not a shoo-in for the general election. Illinois' demographics have changed. There's been a lot of shift toward rural votership in Illinois. So, you could see Donald Trump do pretty well there.
5 years ago, whenever we were going into the election, when Brock was rerunning, I sat in a panel of some great radio guys that are very conservative on our sister station over there. And they truly believed, I believe they believed in their heart, that if he won a second term, that this nation was going to fall apart. Now, we know it didn't fall apart.
Right.
And God, I hope that one man never can allow this nation to fall apart.
I agree.
But we're, and a lot of people can battle this because they do, and we see it on TV. Are we better off 4 years ago than we are now? I think it depends on who you ask.
Well, when you say about that, too, I think one thing that is true is that Barack Obama has changed the country and will probably never go back to the same country that we saw before. There is a huge change in demographic, a huge change in who's involved in the electorate. And a huge change financially. Our economy is moving even further and further down into a service economy.
Yes.
And we are going to have that's why you saw the rise of Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. You have a lot of white working class males, generally working class males, who are losing, their income is going down, and something has to give for them. And I don't know what it's going to be. I don't think it's raising the minimum wage, though. I think that's been talked about. I just don't know that that's the issue.
Well, when we come back, I'm going to get on a little soapbox with you about the church's charge here and what we should do, and as Christians. So tune in and give us, if you have a question, give us a call, 571-2428, 571-2428. We'll be right back.
WFIA, The Spirit.
Do you already have a generator? Smart move. Now you can experience Veritech's service excellence for preventive maintenance and repairs on all makes and models of generators. Their team of professionals provides excellence in customer service and value on the products and services they supply. Veritech proudly carries top-of-the-line brands like Generac, GE, and Briggs & Stratton. Be prepared for the next power outage. Contact Veritech at 502-966-3400 or on the web at vteng.com. Veritech, Kentuckiana's #1 source for all your generator needs.
I've raved of About Face Spa and Salon for several years. They're a trusted sponsor, and I'm a loyal client. They do amazing things with their services, but you want to know my best favorite aspect of About Face? Their Christian atmosphere. That's the most refreshing part. For the ultimate relaxation, give their spa and salon treatments a try and start enjoying a new you. Make About Face Spa and Salon a part of your lifestyle. Call 812-288-2300 for your appointment today.
It's like the rebirth the world feels during spring, the new life when there was none, and the hope of real growth and wonder, like the kind of wonder of joining Alistair Begg on a magnificent Mediterranean journey.
Have you ever wondered what it would have been like to travel the dynamic missionary journeys of the Apostle Paul, to see for yourself the sights of the early Christian church? This is Alistair Begg, inviting you to join me this fall on the footsteps of the Apostles' Mediterranean cruise. Together we'll encounter the sights of the early church like never before, with wonderful stops in Rome, Naples, Jerusalem, Athens, and more.
It's an unforgettable 15 days on 2 continents, sailing on one of the newest cruise ships, the beautiful Silhouette.
And we'll experience the magnificent Sistine Chapel, the historic Western Wall in Jerusalem, the beautiful Greek island of Santorini, and much more in luxurious accommodations over the pristine waters of the Mediterranean.
Get more information at WFIAFM.com and click on the Footsteps of the Apostles banner. Celebrate recovery at Valley View Church every Thursday night. Have you tried it yet? Well, give it a try this Thursday night. Celebrate Recovery is a safe place to get real about your hurts, habits, and hang-ups without fear of judgment. You don't have to walk alone. Join us on Thursday nights with dinner at 5, a large group at 6, small groups at 7, and coffee with friends at 8 with free childcare for kids grades 5 and under. Celebrate Recovery at Valley View Church, 8911 3rd Street Road in Valley Station.
Summertime is the right time to find your perfect fit at the YMCA. Camp, swimming, sports, and more. Find fitness and fun for everyone. Join now and receive a free Calypso Cove Water Park Pass, a free wellness consultation, and entry to our summer membership giveaway. We can help you reach your goal to be healthier and happier. Stop by or visit our website today and find your perfect fit at the YMCA.
Join by June 6th and pay no join fee. YMCALouisville.org.
You're listening to Just Ask Joyce on WFIA, The Spirit.
Just ask Tim and Garrett. Or maybe ask Garrett, because he has all the political answers. And we got David on the phone. Hey, David.
Yeah, yes, thanks for taking my call this afternoon. I know you had a comment a minute or two ago, and it's something that's kind of about the economy and the minimum wage. I wonder why it is the Democrat Party is so set on this minimum wage and why they really drill it. Because I know you were talking about the income inequality of, was it Governor Brown of California, and probably other politicians that have been out there. And I never can figure out why the Democrat Party is just so big on minimum wage increases. Even Bernie Sanders talked about a $15 an hour minimum wage for, like, fast food workers. And I just can't figure out why the Democrat Party just gets so caught up in that.
Well, historically, the Democratic Party has been tied, like I said, to a lot of union membership, and unions have, in recent years, been pushing for a raise in the minimum wage to $15 an hour. There's been a push to raise it to $10.10. It's been raised in certain localities, certain states as well. Seattle, Washington, to $15 an hour. The main reason for that is, number one, I think that unions are trying to build their membership, and having that, fighting for that, would give the opportunity for more people to join that. And of course, there's an ideological difference between Democrats and Republicans, and I'll let you look at the facts and decide whether you think that which ideology is better. The Democrats believe that if you raise the minimum wage, you will raise then in increments the prosperity of living for each individual person. So they think if you're making minimum wage now and you go to $15 an hour, that you will then have somebody who makes $15 an hour now move up at the same increment. Republicans believe that if you allow the free market to move forward, Republicans and libertarians for that matter, because we're about to talk about some libertarian issues, but they believe that if you let the free market and capitalism move, that then creating more opportunity, creating more competition will then drive the wages up for more educated workforce, for more competitive wages, and that's what their ideology is. Now, of course, there's always been a balance. There should be, a lot of people are saying that Teddy Roosevelt came in and really pushed hard against corporatism and really pushed against big business. And that's when you had this move to reform child labor, to reform union, labor unions, to raise the minimum wage, do all those things. Has it really raised the income of individuals by having that increase and by having that minimum wage? Historically, no. Economically, you will see that the minimum wage itself is often a deterrent from raised wages and from profits. And by the way, if you raise the minimum wage in certain sectors to $15 an hour, you're going to have automation.
That's the thing. You're going to see more automation in a lot of these places, aren't you? Where wouldn't that be turning into more of that, an automated way that a lot of these businesses would get around that, you think?
Well, and David, look at some of the ways that we do we have in our service industry. Okay, for example, if you go to Kroger and others, you will see that you have a lot of self-checkouts.
Oh, yeah.
Now you have the ability to go in and buy online and pick up your groceries after they've already put it up for you and load the car for you. Some of that will still, a lot of that will still need manual labor. However, it is reducing the amount of manual labor that you need. So yes, and even in healthcare. A lot of people know I come from a healthcare background. it's often that you're trying to reduce the wages. You're removing some of these allied health people because a machine or a computer or the nurse themselves can do that job with the aid of automation, like you said. So, no, I don't think it's going to increase jobs. I don't think it's going to increase wages. I think there has to be a balance between the two. I think you're going to really have to free up private industry in order to create jobs and to raise wages in this country.
Although the Democrats just seem so, just stuck to their way of that more jobs will be created. That's the thing that I don't, because I understand where you're coming from about it's not going to create the jobs, but how do you get the Democrats to, convince, to kind of look at a balanced thing and that you can't have every job at $15 an hour?
Well, we're going to have to we're going to have leaders again. We're going to have leadership. I mean, when we talk about like Dwight Eisenhower, when we talk about Ronald Reagan, they had opposite party Congresses. They went in and worked with speakers of the House and created legislation that didn't compromise their principles, but instead they built a coalition around key principles that they agreed upon. Right now, we don't have that. Barack Obama does not go to the Congress and say, "This is what I want. Tell me what you want." They might have that discussion, but they don't leave that discussion with a coalition to have those key principles addressed in legislation. We have to get back to that. Regardless of who becomes president, they're going to have to sit down with leaders in the Senate, leaders in the House of different parties, and they're going to have to build once again that coalition of consensus and actually govern. We're not governing right now, and that's the problem.